Okay, buckle up, gang, because this is going to be a good one. And I've got a sequence of events that I have put together here from the news that you have to see it to believe it, because things are changing. The tide is swinging, changing, or whatever it is. The tide is turned. That's what I mean. So we're back on the streets in Chicago, where ICE is struggling to continue to do their job. And it's because they have to fight against the state. So I'm going to show you first the most ridiculous statement I think that JB Boss Hog Pritzker has made to date. So we're going to check that out. And then I'm going to talk about who the mayor of Chicago and the governor actually have working for them. And you're going to be shocked when I tell you this, but I got proof to back that up. And this is going to be an ongoing thing, because I'm not going to get it all in this video. I'm going to try to keep this one as short as possible. All right. So then we're going to show you some more footage of the crack house that got raided and a rather ridiculous interview. You won't believe this interview. I mean, this is just nuts. People are suffering from mass psychosis. That's the only way that I can explain it. All right. We're standing up for crack houses now, fighting for the rights of people who are illegals running a crack house. Okay. And then at the end of the video, hanging all the way to the end, I'm going to show you the most shocking turn of events since all of this has started. So let's just jump on over here and listen to what the Boss Hog mayor has to say. All right, let's just listen to about a minute of this. I don't know if I can stand much more than a minute, but tell me if you're not as shocked as I am when you hear what this fathead guy has to say. Here we go.
Meanwhile, ICE's chief offender, Gregory Bovino, has been leading the disruption and causing mayhem while he gleefully poses for photo ops and TikTok videos. Bovino even admitted on the record that they are making arrests based on how you look. They're not targeting violent criminals or gang members. They're arresting tamale vendors and delivery men and shaking down families. Donald Trump and Kristi Noem and Tom Homan said they were targeting the worst of the worst criminals.
Okay, that's all I can stand. And I can make my point just based on what you just heard. So he says they're arresting tamale vendors and delivery drivers, just regular old working people. So here's the thing. I guess we're supposed to turn a blind eye to the fact that Chicago is the most gang-ridden, crime-ridden city in the United States, where we are looking at a murder rate that averages about 500 a year. It's the gang capital of the United States. And he claims they're arresting tamale vendors. You remember back in Vietnam when you had the soldiers over there, and they'd, during the daytime, they'd be talking to the people in the little villages, and the villagers would tell them VC number 1, NVA number 10, and that means that the Viet Cong, VC, are bad, and that the NVA, Northern Vietnam Army, that was working with the United States at the time, was good. And then at nighttime, those same people that were saying that the Viet Cong is bad, well, they were the Viet Cong, because they were posing as normal villagers during the day, and then at nighttime, they were shooting and killing American soldiers. So here we have a situation where, okay, yeah, you might have a guy that's vending tamales, but how many times have you known that someone sets up a restaurant here in the United States, happens in every big city, where they set up a restaurant to launder money? I just heard a story from my neighbor who was big time in the music industry. As a matter of fact, he played for a very well-known Billboard 100 artist. He's a bass player. He was telling me how he had a friend that was a cocaine dealer, and he was making millions of dollars. He had to open up a restaurant in order to launder all the money. So just because you see a restaurant worker does not mean they're not involved in crime. We have in our town, right here in Jeff City, we've got connections to MS-13, Mexican Mafia, where there's restaurants set up right here where they're laundering money. And that is on undisputed fact. It happens. And so if you don't want to believe it, get over it. These are not tamale vendors and delivery drivers and all innocent people. That's a big, fat, bald face lie. It's a complete deflection. Okay, so let's move on from that. We got to check out this next video here, where this interview is just ridiculous. This is the crack house on South Shore Drive near my old neighborhood. And we're still in an ongoing debate and discussion with people that are watching, the members of the channel. And basically, they arrested 37 Tren de Aragua gang members from this building where the people who were living there don't even pay rent. They took the whole thing over. Just like, you remember the Carter in New Jack City where they take over the whole building and set up a crack operation. This is the Carter right here. But let's listen to this crazy news interview and react to it.
Good morning, Chris. Well, all is quiet here now. It was about 36 hours ago that dozens of federal agents wearing masks, carrying long guns, wearing helmets, swooped in and took off with about 36 people they say were in the U.S. illegally.
Look, they banging on the windows trying to get people to know it's humans. They transporting bodies in the middle of the night. This kidnapping.
That witness video was taken around 1 a.m. Tuesday morning. Footage shows people, including women carrying children, being led away by federal agents. We're told it was Border Patrol, the FBI, ATF, and more who joined forces to find members of the infamous Tren de Aragua gang. They were on the hunt for people accused of drug trafficking or who had outstanding weapons charges. A building resident took CBS News Chicago crews inside to show us holes in the wall that he says are a result of Tuesday's raid.
Like they had it planned out for weeks. It was like a movie. I got it on record on my phone and everything. It was like a movie. It was really scary. They had my boyfriend locked up. Yeah.
He's a citizen?
He's a citizen. He's black. Yeah, he's a citizen.
So we asked DHS about that brief detainment of U.S. citizens. No response. We also asked DHS for a list.
Oh my God. They had my boyfriend locked up. Oh gosh. Just when you think it can't get any weirder, you see an interview like that. So, are we supposed to feel sorry for people that live in a crack house, right? Where you think that there's not going to be a chance that they raid the building and some of the residents who aren't involved in the drug trade are going to have to be held captive temporarily until they get the situation figured out. So we got the Carter here. Living just enough on South Shore Drive. But we're supposed to feel sorry for 37 illegal aliens that are gang members because they busted down the trap house that the mayor of Chicago refuses to deal with. We just have to allow them to continue on and fight for their right to run their business out of this building that they squatted on. Oh, and by the way, the holes in the walls, we've already proven those holes were not made by the raid. They did bust out some windows to get in, but those holes are already there because this building is in foreclosure. It's on its way to being condemned. And now you see how the media twists stuff around to make people completely think something that is totally not true, being that the real situation is that this is a trap house run by Tren de Aragua. Okay, it gets better. I swear to goodness, you cannot leave until we get to the end of the video because the worst part is yet to come. But one good bit of news, not everybody has fallen for this crap that the mayor, Brandon, the jackass Johnson, and JP, Boss Hog Pritzker, you know what I'm talking about, the round-faced governor. Not everybody has fallen for this, that they're all law-abiding tamale dealers. Nobody's doing anything illegal. Now, the big thing is that the mayor is not allowing the police, or the governor is not allowing this too. They're not allowing them to enforce the law if it has anything to do with ICE. But now, as you will see here, the police chief has just about had it, and it's at a breaking point. But this is not the piece de resistance. Wait till the next clip. But let's listen to what the police chief has to say, because he's going to be talking common sense and doing the best he can with a situation that he knows is wrong. Here we go.
So although we do not engage in immigration enforcement, we are going to enforce the law when the laws are violated. So let me be clear to the public about certain things. You have to excuse me, I'm a little dehydrated. Let me make this clear. Federal agents, ICE, HSI, are officers. They are agents of law enforcement. If you box them in with vehicles, it is reasonable for them to believe that they are being ambushed and that this could end in a deadly situation. And it's reasonable for them to use force based on those conditions. Do not box in any law enforcement officer. You are breaking the law when you do that. And you are putting yourself in danger. Following law enforcement agents around. The question is why? What do you plan on doing? It's also reasonable for them to believe that you're eventually going to do harm to them. If you ram any vehicle, especially that one that contains law enforcement agents, and that's any law enforcement, local, state, federal, county, and you do this intentionally, this is considered deadly force. Deadly force is anything that can cause great bodily harm or death. When you
Okay, I'll put the link to this video so you can watch the whole thing. But as you can see, he's not having it. This is a total admission that he knows that this is wrong, that the mayor is not allowing them to enforce the law. So just because it deals with ICE, the mayor and the governor think it's okay for people to chase ICE officers around the block, ram their car, and get in the way with their own activities where they're trying to arrest tamale vendors. So it's good to know that even the police chief understands that what they are doing is wrong. And here's the interesting thing. Even though they've pulled off the police force where they can't enforce regular laws, all right, he's saying, hey, we've about had it. If you're going to be ramming cars and threatening people, those ICE officers are officers of the law. He's basically hinting that they're going to start to step in and take care of business and do what they're paid to do, which is protect and enforce the law. Okay, but here's an interesting thing, and then we'll get to the last shocking clip. The interesting thing is Mayor Brandon Johnson and J.B. Pritzker, they have another police force or armed force that's working for them. So you got Donald Trump, he's got the National Guard, he's got the ICE agents, they're working on the ground. And then Pritzker and Brandon, the jackass Johnson, have a police force that they've hamstrung and said you can't do anything, right? But they've got the gangs working for them. Yes, they do. And I'll do a whole nother video about that. All right. They are in bed with Tren de Aragua. They are in bed with organized crime in Chicago. And if you don't believe it, go back to the video where I showed proof that there has been a concerted effort between gangs and elected officials where they're involved in who gets to get into office and who doesn't. Now, the proof I gave in that prior video, you can go back and check it out. I've got some footage from a story from interviews given by actual gang members and politicians that talked about what was going on 11 years ago with the current situation in Chicago when it comes to people that are running for political office and what they have to do. And you'll be shocked when you see that. So for all of you who think, oh, I don't believe it, he ain't telling the truth, well, the proof is in that video. All right. So there we go. Now, let's keep it moving here. This is the most interesting turn of events. All right. So the police can't do anything. Well, another law enforcement agency has gone rogue, and they've decided that enough is enough. It's the state police. Yes, the state troopers, we call them highway patrolmen here in Missouri. They call it the state police, but they're basically troopers just like what we have in Missouri. So the troopers stepped in, and they handled the mob. Let's cut to the final clip as you will see these rogue state troopers handling the mob down there near the ICE facility. Holy smokes, this is wild. Here we go.
Oh, there we go. We see police rushing forward to grab some folks. Rushing forward, pushing folks to the ground. People collapsing on the ground. These people are forced back as they execute an arrest. Arresting someone from the crowd. More police extend their line here onto the grass in front of some, looks like an apartment building.
ISP, IOF, KKK, they're on the stage! Disperse now, or you will be arrested!
Okay, so you get the point there. That's enough of that. We completely get the point. I'll link this video too. So there they are. There's the badges. These are the state police. Now, keep in mind that we just saw Boss Hog Pritzker doing an interview where he was talking about arresting ICE officers, prosecuting them in the future before the statute of limitations runs out, because he claims that ICE is breaking the law because they're arresting tamale vendors and snatching up people off the street only based on the color of their skin. And now you've got the state troopers that decided this is it. They're not having it. There they are in full force. So this goes against the grain. This goes against the command of the governor because he did not call them in. I mean, guys, this is just getting absolutely crazy. So who do you blame for all of this nonsense? And what about the residents that have to put up with all of the arrests, the mayhem, the car chases, the stink bombs, the rubber bullets, all of that stuff? Who do you blame? Well, I'll tell you who is to blame. It's the governor, and it's the Democrats who have given the people of Illinois the false impression that a sanctuary state or a sanctuary city is legal. They've given them the false impression that the U.S. federal law allows for states or cities to say, screw that, we're doing our own thing. And they are wrong. So since they have set up this false impression that sanctuary status is a legal thing, it kind of seems like ICE is breaking the law, like they're the enemy, like we're a town, we're a city or a state under siege. So when you see these protesters out there throwing rocks, ramming cars, attacking ICE agents, they really think that the city of Chicago, the state of Illinois, is doing the right thing because they heard the governor say it. So when the governor says ICE officials are going to be arrested, when the governor says the president will be impeached for this, when the governor says we're a sanctuary city, they don't know any better. So it's the governor's fault that everybody has to go through this. It's really sad. Now, what are your thoughts about it? Do you think that ICE officials should be held responsible for all of the mayhem? And do you think there will be any collateral damage, like, let's say, U.S. citizens getting arrested or detained? Do you think there will be a lot of U.S. citizens that are arrested and detained? Or do you think that it's a small percentage? And also, do you think it's a necessary evil thanks to the fact that Joe Biden flooded in 30 million illegals into the country during the 4 years that he was in the office of the presidency? Tell me what your thoughts are about that, because had he not done that, we wouldn't have to deal with this. We wouldn't have to worry about arresting tamale vendors and temporarily detaining people that are U.S. citizens. It would have never happened had we just decided that we're going to abide by federal law, immigration law, which I've got a great video coming up. I'm going to explain it all to you. And you're going to be like, oh, wow, I see. And you're going to understand that what led up to all of this was breaking the law over several years. All right. That's going to be a very, very good video. It'll be a type of learner video. What do you call it? A learner video? Whatever the word is. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to learn a lot about immigration law because I've taken a deep dive and I'm doing all the homework so I can explain it to you. So anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Click the notification bell so you don't miss it. It's coming up very, very soon. Post your comments right now. Let's keep this discussion going. That's all I got for this one. This is Carlton, and I'm out.